Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome, dear students, once again for our online session on our subject about C++. Our topic of discussion is data types. As we all know that we have to process various types of data when we are using a C++ program to solve our problems. It actually matters a lot that what type of data you are using in C++, especially when you are assigning some value to a variable or to a constant, and when these values are subjected to some calculations. So in C++, you have to you have to tell the compiler that what type of data values a variable or a constant have, and which results into a specific answer. For example, you are using integer data. You want to take the ratio of integer, like one integer is 5, the other integer is 2. You want to divide 5 by 2. What do you expect? So if you choose an integer data type for both numerator and denominator, you will not get the expected answer 2.5. Your answer will be 2 with the remainder 1. So that's why you have to tell your compiler that what type of data you are going to process during your programming. So basically we have to use 4 different data types. So normally first one is very simple, the integer data type. This is used to store integers or numeric values which did not have any decimal point. Then we have floating point data to store real values which have decimal position, and then we have double data type which are used to store large real values. So for small real values you usually use data which is called floating point data, and if the real values are very large, then we use double. And sometimes we have to process characters as a data. We can have character constants and character variables. So if you want to store character values, then our variables or constants should have data type characters. So we discuss it one by one in detail. So first of all, integer data type. So integer data, as we already discussed, is numeric values with no decimal points or no fraction. It can have positive or negative value. Integer data can have many types, depend upon many things like their sign, like their size. So if we look into this table, first of all we have simple notation int, which have size memory 2 bytes, and for your information, the smallest memory cell is usually called a bit, and 8 bits combined to form a byte. These sizes are basically uh, according to the binary codes of these extreme limits. So therefore, you at least have this many bits allocated if you use integer as a data type. Similarly, this simple integer is also called short integer, so you can use the keyword short. Its size is also 2 byte, and it's the range. If you have an unsigned integer, so your minimum value will be 0, and add these two to get this 65535. And if we want to process some long integer, so we need more space, and here you can see that the range is also higher. Similarly, it can be doubled if you have an unsigned long integer. So if you go to the further details of this, so you have a header file named limits.h, which include minimum and maximum value, which is mentioning over here in the table. So these are actually the standard values sets in the limits.h file. The same can be seen for the short integer. So this can also be checked in limits.h file. So if you talk about unsigned integer, again the header file remains same. So you have unit max, so where you set the maximum value. When we talk about long integer, again you can find that minimum long and maximum longs are found in limits.h. So you can set the value from there. However, the standard values are already presented in the table. So similarly, you can see it for the unsigned long integer data type. So again, its value with the name ulongmax is also present in the header file limits.h. This is all about integer data. Now we talk about real data type. So we all know real data is the numeric values with the decimal point or with fraction. When you divide some number with other, so sometimes you get a fractional value. So that's why it's sometimes called floating point number. It can be either positive or negative. So how you decide which to choose from float and double? So it depends upon the description. So if you use a float data type for a variable, then it allocate 4 bytes memory, and this is the range. So you have a minimum value 3.4 into 10 to the raised power minus 38 to 3.4 into 10 to the raised power plus 38. If you use double, so memory allocation is also doubled, and you see the power of 10 minus 3082 plus 308. And if you have a very long double, so the memory allocated is of 10 bytes, and you see the extreme values which are very high. So as far as the setting of minimum and maximum limit is concerned, for float you have a header file float.h where these extremes are mentioned. Similarly, for the double data type, again you have the same header file with the minimum double and maximum double values. Similarly, for long double, again you have the same header file with long double minimum and long double maximum. Now finally we come towards character data. Character data is usually used to store some character values. I take 1 byte in memory. It is used to represent letters. You can make a number as a character by enclosing in single quotation and few other symbols. Um, so characters are normally given single quote like this A, this X, this number 5. This is not a numerical value, no. This is a character value. This symbol hash also show you the character value. Here is an example to represent two character. So if you see in this example, here we have these two preprocessor directives, I input output stream and conio.h console input output. This is main function. Now you come towards body. This is clear screen. To clear the screen if already have some data. No, this is the main part. This is variable declaration part. Character. This is char, character, stand for character data. This is defining the data type which these two variables ch1 and ch2 can have. So it means ch1 is an identifier, ch2 is an identifier, sum is also an identifier, where char is data type. So character 1 variable, character ch2 variable. Ch is short notation for character. You can use anything, name of your choice, and sum is also a variable having character value. This is the assignment of the value. Look at this. ch1 have assigned a character value A. ch2 have assigned a character value B, and this is console output to output it. This is a string literal, something which is printed as it is on the screen. These are insertion operators, and here this will print value of first character variable, and this will print value of character second character variable. This is to get the output on the screen, get character. This is the close of your program. So these are basically three data types which we usually use during the sequence of programming. Hopefully you understand this discussion. So if you have any question, you can ask it directly from me by any means, maybe on the YouTube or on the WhatsApp group of your class. Thank you.